Let me invite your attention to these two video clips. These are called muscle cramps or muscle spasms. You might also have experienced such muscle cramps. What might be the reason for this? One of the reasons for such muscle cramps is calcium deficiency in your body. In this session, you will study about the role of calcium ions and the Crossbridge cycle in muscle contraction. After attending this session, you will be able to understand the mechanism of muscle contraction, recall the role of calcium in muscle contraction, and explain the Crossbridge cycle in muscle contraction. Muscle contraction occurs due to the interaction between the proteins actin of the thin filament and myosin of the thick filament. When the muscles are relaxed, the protein tropomyosin block the myosin binding sites on actin. When the brain signals muscles to contract, calcium ions are released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum to the muscle fibers. Calcium ions bind to troponin, causing a conformational change in it. This structural change pulls tropomyosin away from actin. The myosin binding sites in actin are thus opened. The myosin head now binds to actin and forms a crossbridge. But the myosin head must be activated before a crossbridge cycle can begin. This occurs when ATP binds to myosin head and is hydrolyzed to ADP and inorganic phosphate. The energy released during this hydrolysis activates the myosin head. This forces the myosin head into a cocked position. Now let us see how a crossbridge cycle works. A crossbridge cycle has 4 steps. Step 1 is the crossbridge formation. The activated myosin head binds to actin, forming a crossbridge. Inorganic phosphate is released. The bond between myosin and actin becomes stronger. Step 2 is the power stroke. ADP is released and the activated myosin filament pushes and slides the thin filament to the center of the sarcomere. Step 3 crossbridge detachment. Another ATP binds the myosin head. The link between the myosin head and actin weakens. The myosin head detaches. Step 4 reactivation of myosin head. ATP hydrolyzes to ADP and inorganic phosphate. The energy released reactivates the myosin head, returning it to the cocked position. The crossbridge cycle will repeat as long as the binding sites on actin remain exposed. The thin myofilaments are pulled to each other and the sarcomere shortens. This shortening causes the whole muscle to contract. The crossbridge cycle ends when the stimulation of the nerve cells stop and calcium ions are transported back to sarcoplasmic reticulum. Troponin returns to its original shape. Tropomyosin glides over and covers the myosin binding sites on actin. This breaks the actin-myosin interaction. Remember that the whole process of muscle contraction started with the release of calcium ions to the muscle fibers. Now you have understood how important calcium ions are for the proper functioning of your muscles. I hope that from now on you will have a calcium-rich diet.